Hey, Nick.
Hey, Mr. Wyatt.
So there were two parrots that were sitting on a perch. One of them turned to the other one and asked, "Do you smell fish?" That's the joke. A perch
Oh,
is a fish, and it's a thing to
yay.
stand on.
That's pretty bad.
We don't have it yet.
What's up? We don't have it yetters. We don't have it yetis. We don't have it yet. This is your buddy Nick here back again with my co-host and bestest buddy Wyatt. Wyatt, how are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing pretty well, buddy. To pull the curtain back, we're doing a nice little morning of
This is live.
recording.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah, which we've done a couple of these and they're kind of fun. And I gotta say, I'm kind of impressed at your ability to turn around these episodes as quick as you are with your editing. You're getting pretty good at it.
Is Swift in the old Audacity? Yeah, I like folding in commercials for internet hiccups and bathroom breaks. That's fun. And a little snip and cut here to make us sound wittier than we actually are. That's always
Well,
useful.
that's the part you didn't need to pull the curtain back on.
Ah, shit. No.
We're just naturally perfect.
Yeah, Oz great and powerful here. We got a whole bunch of fun stuff to talk about today, man. What do we got on the list?
So, you've been reading the first Dungeon Crawler Carl book.
I have.
I just finished the fourth book, so I figured why not we do a little discussion about, the entire overview series of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I think it's kind of fun, and I do think a lot of our viewers slash listeners, I suppose, would enjoy the series, especially if you guys are nerds like us.
You're
It's gonna be right up your alley. Uh, we also, you and I were talking a little bit last night on my drive home. You were my drive home buddy, and you had brought up the age old debate of subtitles versus dubbing and
Oh
which
yeah.
camps we fall in. And we also have to go over our ever popular recurring series of Backlog Buster Brothers, which we will be discussing the Josh Gad, Alex Winter flick Adulthood, and we will be talking a little bit more about Hollow Knight. And I think this week we're going to both have some new assignments. I'm going to give you a video game, you're going to give me a movie, and we'll see how things go.
I'm into it. What's up with you? What are we going first?
Well, you seemed super excited this past week or so about getting a online TV station up for yourself and your family, and I have a feeling you kind of want to tell the people about it, and I want to hear some more about it.
Well, Nick TV? Yeah,
Yeah,
Nick
Nick
TV is
TV.
online, baby. Can you, like, first of all, just respect my awesome ability to name a television station? Uh, and shocker, the one I made for my son is his name TV. So interesting little project. I bought on a secondhand market some server parts a while back and have kind of rigged a server together, which I've done for a long time, hosted stuff on Plex and things like that. But what I've been playing around with different Docker containers and stuff like that. There's a lot of projects now where you can basically program your own television station. I'm using a program called Tuner, and it allows me to take a library of media, say my TV show collection or the things I pick out of it, select these shows and say, this is what Nick TV now broadcasts. Take all this, arrange it in a fun, scheduled way so that, Top Chef comes on every night at 9 and we're following through that one current season kind of thing. And you put it up and it just pulls from your media library and then flows through the live TV section of Plex or whatever viewer that you would like to use. An IPTV player would work, VLC media player would work with M3U playlists. I'm getting a little complicated, but basically now in my home, I can go onto Plex or my son can go onto Plex and click on Nick TV, and there's right there a normal like cable guide, see what's on right now, see what's coming on, and just passively watch television, which is something that I haven't done in over a decade, probably. Really? I don't know
Yeah,
about
same
you.
here. Yeah.
I ditched cable in, I want to say, 2010. Um, and was a full believer in the oncoming, streaming service revolution and Netflix and everything. And for a couple of years there, which I know we've talked about, a couple of years there, it really looked like we weren't going to need anything more than that. And it was
Right
great.
before and shitification hit.
Yep, yep. So like 2010 up to like 15-ish is like the best of stuff. But anyway, that's gone. And yeah, so I find myself often playing the choice paralysis game, as I think people do a lot of times these days with streaming services. But if I'm gonna watch TV these days, a lot of times it's purposeful. I'm gonna sit down to watch this movie or this new episode of this show, what have you. Um, and the entire act of channel surfing is lost on me these
That's
days.
that's, that's a lost art.
Yeah. So this is just kind of fun in so much as it harkens back to another time kind of thing. And I found myself last night going like, oh, it's almost 10. Like this such and such show should be coming on. I pulled up the channel and there it is. And sure enough, it's the next episode from the one I watched last night. There is something just kind of cool about that, and it will force me to go through large parts of my media library that are probably laying dormant as well, but I can just kind of pick them up at my own pace. And the coolest part is that you can, after scheduling your show lineup, uh, you can add in filler to fill any time slots left
That's what I
over.
was going to ask you about.
So I went to the old Internet Archive and downloaded 50 gigs worth of commercials from the 90s and have inserted those as to fill in at random any filler breaks. So, like last night, we're watching it, and a commercial for the action figure from the new movie with Jim Carrey, The Mask, is. By the way, action figure commercials used to be cool as shit, and that is something we have so lost. A lot of good action figure commercials, a lot of good, classic fast food commercials. Movie trailers are always amazing. So it's just fun. It's like logging in to a snapshot in time, which you could very much do if you wanted to. You could make a 1995 channel that only shows stuff from that year. And with the Internet Archive and the amount of archive television that is out there, it's
Not
kind of
super hard to do.
yeah, it's not hard at all. And like I have a massive physical media library. I'm not worried about licensing for this stuff that I consume myself or anything like that. But adding on to this, and it's all very neat and inside my own home, the next step will be to work on some tail scale routing so that I can then share Nick TV with friend Wyatt.
Yeah, I did the same thing probably a year ago at this point. I know you had put it on my radar with Ursat's TV, and I actually
Hmm.
built myself a couple of TV stations and more or less did the same thing. But I got stymied, it seems like at the point right now where you are, as like getting someone else to be able to
Yes.
watch it. I think I got you connected to mine through Plex. Well, I added you to my Plex home, and I think you said it was able to work that way, but it's kind of a weird workaround that,
It's certainly less than ideal. Like, yeah, I
yeah.
would have to join under your wing, and then thus I lose my own Plex household. And it was strange, and it's all very in the interest, I think, of not opening up this port on your router to the entire internet.
Yeah.
Um, but I do that with Plex, so I don't know if I could kind of piggyback off of that. I'll have to look into it further. Uh, Would there even be a market for other friends and users to want to watch my personally programmed TV station? I don't know.
Probably not.
It's just
It's
kind of a
just,
neat thing
yeah.
that you want to show off to other people. But as far as using it and finding utility in my own house, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna you said that you're using a program that was a fork off of Ursat's, so I might.
Yes, so it's called Tunar, Tunarr, just like sonar and radar, if you're familiar with those seed boxing
Oh yeah.
programs. So this one is just Tunar, and yeah, it's a fork of the Erstats TV project, which has probably, changed quite a bit in the time since you first tried it as well. But I think just in the goal of making everything a lot easier and more accessible. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not the easiest thing to set up, but it is
That
pretty
was, I
damn
noticed,
cool.
yeah, it took me about a week of tinkering to get, I think I had a couple channels that were up and running, but I, depending on how things go, it's winter, so I have more time to tinker around inside. I might give it another shot.
It's fun to
It's
just
fun. Yeah.
yeah, but it's also fun, like, I can't help but imagine myself as, Will Smith in that End of the World, Last Man on Earth movie,
Yeah.
um, and I'm like, "Alright, so I could just set up the TV channel, even though the world has died around me, I can still watch it like I'm living in something normal." I'm sure that's not a healthy way to think, but I think it's really cool.
Sometimes we need an escape, and
Yeah.
that's okay. Um, yeah. So I was going to ask you, do you just have one station up for yourself right now? So is it basically just
No, I have
all
2.
of your media that you've put into like certain time slots, or do
So
you have like reality
it's
TV, cartoons, whatever?
alright. Well, so I made one for my son. And that's just like all his cartoon shows that he already loves, and then all the ones that I want him to watch. Like he has not gotten into Darkwing Duck despite my pleading. So if I just insert episodes of Darkwing Duck that come on automatically after something that he is inclined to watch, maybe I can force his hand a little bit. So yeah, I have basically 2 running at the same time now. I believe I have headroom to get like as many as 10 going. So you could conceivably have a personal channel browsing situation going on where you had your own comedy network, your own animation network, your own action network, if you wanted to.
That was
As it's
my
Yeah, as it
goal.
stands for me right now, it's like just comfort food for Nick that he loves all the
Yeah.
time. So, I have I mean, I can just go down it. It's like Top Chef, Dark Side of the Ring, Simpsons, Seinfeld, I think Gravity Falls, Curb Your Enthusiasm, every Bourdain show, Phil Rosenthal's food travel stuff, old episodes of MPT cooking shows like Yen Can Cook. It's just all stuff that I will never be upset that it's coming on, even though I've likely seen it before. It's, me reaching middle age and wanting to turn on, that channel that comes across, basic cable that only shows old Western movies and stuff like that.
That is my dad with either
Me
Wyatt
TV? Is
Earp
it
or
Me?
Tombstone.
Yeah. Oh, dude, let's not start
Anytime it
listing
comes
the two.
on, because he still
You
has
have to
cable.
watch it.
Anytime it comes on cable, he's planted on that couch for the next
Alright,
3.5 hours.
I gotta side with your dad on this one.
Oh, I'm not saying it's a
If I
bad thing.
was
That's
still, operating digital cable and came across Tombstone at any point, I'm gonna, 1, check in where it's at in the movie, and 2, 99% chance just kinda sit back after that and, keep quoting every single line that comes out of every character and talk about how great this movie is from to my wife for the 500th time as she rolls her eyes. And, this is
so-
a really bad time for me not to have the "Eye on Your Huckleberry," sound cues queued up, but I don't. I'm working only from a Detroiters list right now.
oh, that gives me a nice little transition. It wasn't even something we talked about, but you picked up a nice secondhand PC, or sorry, not PC, secondhand computer, and your virtual Nick had told you how to rearrange your workspace because I see you are now recording in a different area than you usually are for our podcasts.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm in my office, so the idea being that, this will be only used for productivity purposes, whereas the other desk is purely for gaming, and I realize how ludicrous that sounds to anyone listening to this, and I can assure you that it very much
First
is.
world problems.
Yes. Well, in this the first world collector of tech things is the guy that roots through your tech garbage to then rebuild these projects. So don't think that I'm just out there buying the latest and greatest. I run on shit. Uh, yeah, so just trying to divvy up responsibility around the room. And yeah, so along with this latest TV station thing, I have started playing around with locally run and hosted language models which, I know people have some very strong opinions on AI, none more so than me. Go listen to Ed Zitron and Better Offline if you want to think about all the bullshit happening in that world and the movement of money that doesn't exist, et cetera, et cetera. But um, as much as generative audio, video, image AI has no real functional utility, I do believe, as someone that grew up with the more basic chatbots that we have, there is utility in language models, especially on things like troubleshooting tech problems. They can be really useful, or it's like, give me ideas to try why I'm banging my head against the wall with this terminal for this or that, and what have you. So I've been tooling around with that, and God, it's weird some of the stuff that people put out there for prompts. Like, if you want a personality or something to resemble what you would imagine it's like to have a conversation with Arnold Schwarzenegger, what have you, it's out there. Um, Pandora's box is open at this point. It ain't going
Yep.
away. The fact that they've gotten to a point where I, as the user, can download and run a model personally on my computer is amazing. And I think that's great. And it just proves how little utility is actually out there for these massive data centers and server farms. Um, because I can do it on home hardware quite competently on my local network. And I can have it run as a chatbot in my house, replacing bullshit like Alexa that goes and farms out and calls home to Amazon every 20 minutes. I believe, without getting too ranty on all this stuff, that, and I know you share this opinion, the future is self-hosted, man. You can have
Yep.
all these cool things that we love without paying a forever subscription
You
to
can
some.
own it.
Yeah, you can own your media. You can own Blu-ray movies or whatever, rip them, CDs, music, all this stuff, and host it for yourself to stream at any time. And there was a time, not so long ago, that you had pride over your collection of this stuff, even if it wasn't physical. I took a lot of pride in curating and building my MP3 collection over the years. Did you not? And
I
there's still
still do.
yeah, and there's still a sense of ownership to it, and it belongs to you, and it feels like yours. And for people that have never known that, just due to age, um, I'm sorry, but I think that there is, even in younger people, the desire to grab onto something, things that they can hold on to that actually belong to them in media versus
A digital
uh
license that can be
more,
taken away
yeah,
at
and
any point.
a digital license that can be taken at any point, absolutely. And just everything is a forever subscription now, man. I'm not
Adobe.
into it. I'm not yeah, Adobe. But no, I mean Microsoft and Amazon, like Jeff Bezos is mask off saying now, yep, the whole you'll own nothing. You're gonna rent out your compute. And you'll do it in the cloud, and you'll be much happier not owning a computer or a video card because we've made them so unaffordable by buying out all of the world's supply for these bullshit pursuits that we're now going to rent it back to you as a way to generate cash. Fudge off. So
End stage capitalism.
yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do?
I'm calm.
This is the only way we could fight back as consumers, man. Take hold of your media. It feels good. But lightening things a bit, and I know you wanted to talk about this because I brought it up on the Discord phone conversation that we had last night. You talked about a new movie coming out that I think was South
Oh
Korean.
yeah.
In Since we're talking about watching media and TV and all that good stuff, and that's what we do talk about. Um, you brought up this movie. If you're watching something, I needed to ask you this because this is a hot debate, and I don't think that people have any middle ground on it. It's one way or the other. If you're watching a foreign film that's not in English, are you going dubbed or are you going subtitles?
Let
And
me
he's pausing. He's
let me
pausing.
lean into the mic here for a second.
It's a dramatic pause. Yeah, he leaned back and then leaned in really seriously, folks.
So it's a very funny question to me
Mhm.
because I am that really, really odd person that it depends on what I'm watching.
Okay.
So, for example, the movie that I showed you last night, No Other Choice, which I believe is out in theaters now. At least
Yeah,
it's in my
I couldn't
local
think of the
theater.
title.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I would like to see that. I'm either going to see it in theaters or I'll, see it when I'm able to get it at home. But I will watch that with subtitles. That's
Yeah.
the way it was created. That's the way I want to see it. I want to hear the actors' voices.
Yes.
That's what I want. However,
Okay.
I am a huge fan of the anime One Punch Man.
Okay.
I watched that dubbed over. I enjoy the voices that the characters have in that, and for whatever reason, I've watched a couple episodes subtitled, and I've watched all the episodes dubbed over, and for whatever reason, I really enjoy that cartoon dubbed over
Because
as opposed to
okay.
subtitles. And I think it might be the live action versus animated debate. However, something like a Dragon, the Yakuza games,
Mhm.
the last two, I believe, Infinite Wealth and Like a Dragon, have both subs and dubs. I believe, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but all of the older games are only subtitled games, or I'd say 95% of them. They are subtitled, not dubbed over, and that's because they were just Japanese games that were brought over here, and they weren't going to hire all new voice artists to go ahead and do everything over again.
Yeah, no, I can vouch because I'm playing the remastered collection, and yeah, it's not in English.
So I really enjoy the new ones, Like a Dragon and Infinite Wealth. I love listening to those dubbed over. I enjoy the voices that they give those characters. However, like it's not a deterrent to me playing any of the older ones, or I've been playing Yakuza Ishin that you gracefully gave for me either for my birthday or Christmas. I can't remember at this point, but you'd
Happy Christmas
given that to
birthday.
me. Yeah. And I'm totally fine with it being subtitled. I enjoy it. It immerses me more. So I don't know. I fall in this weird space where I don't have a strong preference. I would say that for anything live action, I do prefer
Yeah,
to
you don't
just
yeah.
have it be dubbed.
You
Or
don't bring
sorry,
up a strange
subbed.
point. You bring up the probably what is the correct exception in animation, I think, because especially if you consume it that way first, where it's already dubbed, your
Right.
brain immediately connects that character with
That is
that
how it
voice,
is.
and then boom, you've made that connection, and that's how you know it. And anything else is now going to seem strange. So I totally agree with that. I mean, I think that's fine. Where I think it sucks, as a bit of a going back to the AI talk, is something like Squid Game,
Uh-huh.
which I will watch dubbed because it's in Korean, and that's, the actors' inflections in their performances matter, and it might be different if I'm watching it dubbed from somebody else. And
Wait, you mean you watch it subbed,
I
right? You
watch it
said you watch
subbed.
it dubbed. Okay. All
No,
right.
sorry, I watch it
Yeah.
subbed. And said if it were dubbed, the guy speaking English might give a different inflection to the performance. It might come off completely different than if I
Yes.
watched it in the native language. What they did in that show that I really hated was gave the Western characters, along with the Chinese character, which was a bit of a head scratcher, um, they overdubbed in English their
Yes.
performances that were sometimes in English, and like changed their mouths to go along with it, for the people that weren't originally speaking English.
Yep.
And it was so like just that uncanny valley shit that my brain is like, no, 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 no. We just got ripped out of this. We hate this so much, just so much. No. And yeah, that's definitely where I would not want the future to go, though I imagine it is. Whereas once this movie was in Mandarin, now it'll just be automatically in English, and it looks like the actors' mouths are moving correctly, and you're just watching an adjusted dub. I still want the original thing in some manner, and I just don't think that you get that from dubbed. And I always hated I didn't watch a movie to have to fucking read, man. Like you're telling on yourself at that point, in my opinion.
Of course, this is coming from two English majors saying
Yeah,
this as well.
I'm not
Who's
saying I'm not a, jackass, but I can't get that on board with that. Like, is it really that difficult to have to follow along? Having said that, if they're turned on in English language stuff, I tend to get annoyed because I find them too much.
you're reading it and you're not watching the show?
Yes, and I know people that only watch television that way now these days.
I
There's
have
a
a few
lot of
friends that
them.
only watch
Yeah.
TV that way.
Yeah, like, on the occasion, my wife will make me turn some subtitles on where I don't want them on, but I'm fine with that. Like, if we're watching something like, God, Lemmy, the Lemmy movie where, maybe someone who wasn't, born to folks that talk like that can't understand most of what he's saying, and I don't consider
It's
that.
English, but it's not English.
Yeah, precisely. It still has, use there for sure. But, yeah, on the whole, I prefer subtitles every time, but I think the animation point that you make is a really good exception that I'm not considering, and I'm trying to think if there's any show that I've ever watched that was animated that was not, dubbed, because I just immediately go to thinking of, like, Speed Racer episodes from when I was a
Yep.
kid kinda thing. Um, is One Punch Man is that the dude with the big brimmed hat that's circular?
No, that's you're thinking of One Piece, I believe.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah,
And
I'm really showing off my anime ignorance here. I've
someone's
seen Akira.
probably gonna, yeah. One Punch Man, which I might assign that to you at some point, or just ask you to watch it because I think it's so dumb but funny.
Oh, there's a good one. Oh, I just accidentally brought it up. Akira. Okay. Anime,
Yep.
quote, masterpiece from when I was young, and incredible piece of work. When I watched that in 7th grade or whatever it was for the first time, it was only available dubbed.
Yep.
And I think it's a much worse movie for it, having seen the original version. Don't know if you've experienced that.
Yeah, I've actually only seen the subbed
Oh, there you go.
version. So yeah, that would be the only way I watch that. But One Punch Man, the idea is it's a world where superheroes are real, and there's basically an organization that hires superheroes to take care of bad things that are happening. And there is this character named Saitama who was just an ordinary businessman who was down on his luck, couldn't really find a job. His dream was he always wanted to be a superhero growing up. I just want to be a superhero. And he decides, I'm going to make myself a superhero. I'm going to, create these powers. And he does, and I'm going to get this wrong, but I think his training regimen, he tells this to his disciple. There's this android that wants to be taught under him because Saitama, the Caped Baldy, I think is the nickname they give him that he hates. But his power is off the charts. So this android wants to be like taught under him. I want to, know how to do this. So a couple episodes in, and spoilers or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't take away anything from it being hilarious. But he explains to him, my training regimen, you need to follow this exactly. This is what I did for 6 months, and it made me as strong as I am. It made me like the most powerful being in the universe. He said, I do 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, and I run a 10K every single day. And I did that for 6 months, and I am now like his whole idea, he's One Punch Man. So literally he is a superhero that is absolutely bored of being a superhero because all he has to do is literally just not even punch. Like he could just go like tap, and this super being that was destroying this city just explodes in a shower of gore because this guy is so powerful. And it's just the dynamic between it is hilarious because Saitama's biggest thing at this point after he's this powerful is he really, and actually we could relate to this, he really enjoys a good supermarket sale. So
okay.
like he gets into this like days long battle with this enemy that he's kind of holding back on, but he's like, oh man, I can actually fight this guy. And of course he comes out on top at the end. And then he asks his apprentice who's there with him, what day it is because it's been going on forever. And he tells him the day and he tells him the time. And he finds out that the supermarket's just about to close and he's about to miss discount day. And he just starts screaming about how upset he is that, he's going to miss the supermarket sales. So it's absolutely ridiculous, but that's a little bit of a tangent that I need to get you to at least watch a couple episodes of it.
Check it out, sure. If you got to win me over on anime, man. I'm not. There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm not huge on it, but One Punch Man, for whatever reason, just caught me.
No, it's funny you mentioned that and the whole animation thing because I can think of a recent example. Have you heard of the movies? The second one just came out not too long ago, Neza. Um,
No.
so these are Chinese CGI, like Chinese Pixar movies, basically, and heavily built around Chinese mythology, the Journey West, stuff like that. Um, if you have the opportunity, they are stunning. I mean, some of the coolest action scenes that you could imagine. And the CGI is just amazing. But sidetrack, ended up watching the first one with my son dubbed because that's all that was available. And then the second one with subtitles. And I much preferred watching it with subtitles, whereas he, who had watched the first one dubbed, was like, these are different characters now. It goes right back to what we were
Right.
just saying.
Yep.
So I think it's just that whatever you make that initial brain connection with is what your brain associates with that and just what feels normal. So I mean, it's always just going to be a preference thing. But uh, there's not going to be a point with overdubbing unless it's an animation where I don't have some sort of disconnect, I think. And how far does
I
that go? How far do you want it to go? Do you want it to then I don't like anyone speaking in a different language, so let's AI overdub any character is speaking in a different language and make their, mouths adjust to English now. So now this Russian character in this movie is now speaking English, which makes it easier for me as the viewer. It can't be that far off.
yeah.
It can't be.
Someone's
Uh,
gonna clip that about 10 seconds of you saying that you don't like anyone speaking a different language and it should be changed to English.
Oh, there you go. And this we're just gonna be out there as a populist podcast, and we're gonna
Yeah.
start. What? Where'd all these new downloads come from?
Please, if you feel that way, please don't listen to us.
Uh, dear whoever sent all the funding, Russian government or whoever, to Tim Pool and all those assholes, I'll take money. I might not be good at sending the message, but if you want to dark fund us, that's fine. Uh,
Jeez.
which
So
leads us
anyway,
to segue into I don't know what now.
well, we had a pretty good segue about 2 minutes ago, but we
I
totally lost the
stopped
thread
you.
on that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna hard transition into our favorite heroes, actually, Carl and Princess Donut, the Queen Anne Chonk, and
Oh yeah.
their
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
yeah. So I'm gonna let you kind of steer this because, as I said, I've finished the
I have to
first
steer
four
it.
books,
Yeah.
so I don't want to give too much to you as you're reading it. But
Yeah,
I
I
think
started this like 2 days ago, so I'm gonna need a little bit of a break. 3 days ago, um, I've been yeah-yang Wyatt and about half a dozen other friends that have telling me you have to read this. This is a book series made for you for I don't know however long they've been out at this point.
5 years.
Yeah, which by the way, he's written 7 books in 5 years. That's incredible.
Yep,
That's some James Patterson level stuff. Does he have a team of monkeys that are churning out these stories for him?
most likely.
Uh, yeah, but I finally picked up a hard copy that was on sale, and there's a whole nother discussion there. I'm still a person that likes holding a physical book in my hand when I read. But so I just got it started, and I think I'm like 8 or 9 chapters into the first book.
Mhm.
And I can already tell you that I'm all in. The writing is phenomenal. The character development right off the bat, you're in. When you compare it to something like Ready Player One,
Which is
uh,
probably the most direct comparison people would
it
make.
has to be. It has to be. Now Ready Player One was right place, right time for me, especially with its, laser sighted nostalgia bombing
Do you like the
for my
80s in video games?
my entire generation. Yeah, I mean, Ernest Cline was tapping into my childhood, so it speaks directly to me. He seems like a lovely fellow. I don't believe that he can write worth a shit. Anybody who read Ready Player Two would probably be inclined to agree. I I'm sorry.
I wish people would quit doing that. It's mean.
I have to be mean, Ernest. You need some work. The Spielberg version of that was quite good. I'm one of the people that actually enjoyed that, I think. But getting back into Matt Dinneman, great writer, really transports you in there. And Dungeon Crawler Carl is basically a similar love letter to the world of nerddom and the world that I grew up in, but seen much more through an adult lens versus kind of I don't want to say a wide-eyed protagonist like in Ready Player One, but it's a little less nice. I don't know, is that a way to put it?
Yeah, it's not as straightforward where Ready Player One is. You have this teenager that's doing this contest and, trying to win this prize. This is more or less the antithesis. Carl is basically forced inside this dungeon by aliens that have destroyed Earth, and
Yes.
every year or they say a season, it might be every year, I'm not sure how long between these seasons they talk about in the book, but every season a different alien corporation destroys a planet, and any inhabitants that happen to be alive are forced in, not forced, but there are stairwells that open up into a dungeon, and they willingly go in and they compete in this reality TV show a la Running Man, kind of, in the sense that you have the populace watching these crawlers try to navigate their way through this dungeon
It's
system.
like Labyrinth crossed with Running Man is the best way I
Yeah,
can probably put it, which is of course why I love it. But yeah, so your protagonist, I was just saying he's a flawed, normal kind of guy. Like he's said to be like
he's
younger
a
and in
meathead.
decent shape. Yeah, he's a bit of a meathead. He goes to the gym, maybe a bit of a broski, but it starts with him. He's in the middle of a breakup with his girlfriend, but he's still watching her cat, and they're in a
Yeah, because
snowstorm.
she's gone off with the guy that she was cheating with on
Yeah,
vacation and left him with the cat.
and so he's stuck in a snowstorm waiting for her parents to at some point be able to fetch the cat, but he kind of hints at the fact that he likes the cat. Um, and the cat, I can't
A
remember
show
what
cat,
leads.
mind you. This
Yes,
is a
yes,
cat
yes.
that participates in shows and has won championships
Many
and
ribbons. Yeah, I
yeah.
can't remember what leads to the cat. He opens the window and the cat bolts and jumps out the window into a tree.
Yep.
And it forces him to run outside in his underwear to try and get the cat back in this middle of the snowstorm because the cat's going to die. And while he's standing out there in his underwear and a t-shirt, all the buildings in the city collapse around him, just pancake flat all of a
Yep.
sudden kind of thing. To which the only thing that rises up are the entrances into this dungeon. Anybody that existed inside of those buildings is now insta dead, and
Just
most of the world's
flattened.
population is just gone. Um, but he goes into the entrance to one of these dungeon entrances in the city with the cat, and eventually finds his way into something of a tutorial room with this character Mordecai, who is described in the book as being very representative or reminiscent of Splinter from Ninja
Yep.
Turtles. And he kind of gives him the lay of the land. His character is very much a Hoggle from Labyrinth. I draw a lot of Labyrinth parallels in this now that I'm thinking of it. Um, and I'll let you kind of take it from there. In so much he explains the rules of the game and how you now have like the character can pull up menus with his mind in his field of vision, and is going to be navigating this Running Man world. And while getting all of this information, the cat also gets transformed from a cat into a blob on the floor and then transforms into a bigger, better, smarter version of itself. And the full
Really?
name of the cat is now Princess.
Well, I can't remember what she's given in the dungeon, but yeah, her full legal name is Princess Donut, the Queen Anne Chonk.
Yes, yes, yes. And she insists that she be referred to as the full name once she
Yeah.
starts talking and things. Yeah,
So she
it's
doesn't
really cool,
actually get
man.
bigger and better. The only thing that happens to her is she can just now speak. So she turns into the same exact cat
That's not
because
true.
when
I will argue with that. I just read the section and
oh,
it said
I will defer to you because it's been a couple
it
weeks since I've read.
says that she's just a slightly like larger version of herself, but basically the same. But he's like, oh, she might be a little more broad and like a little bigger, but mostly looks exactly the same. Just like how his strength stats went up but he feels the same kind of thing. I think that was what they were going for.
I'll allow it. Like I said, the earlier stuff I'm gonna defer to you with because it's
Yeah.
been a little while since I've read it. But so to get more broad strokes and not just give everyone a synopsis of the entire first book so they don't have to read it. The idea is where Nick leaves off is they're tossed into this world and it is a mixture of Dungeons and Dragons, I'd say kind of like maybe a Diablo action RPG, uh, and maybe like a
There's a
Baldur's
loot
Gate.
crawler kind of element
Yes,
to all of it, isn't there? Yeah.
they're inside this dungeon. The goal is
Get to
to
the next
make it
floor.
to I think there are 20 floors in the dungeon. I believe I could be wrong. And no crawler, I
Oh, no,
believe,
it's
has
18.
ever
I think it's 18.
yes, it is 18. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
No crawler has ever made it past 12 in the dozens of seasons they've ever done.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see where it's going because the tutorial giver, lay of the land guy, Mordecai, who's kind of your guide, kind of whispers over to you that he made it as far as 10. And he tells Carl, like, don't take the deal. Whatever you do, don't take the deal. It's not worth it. And right now I'm wondering,
what's the
where
deal?
that goes. Wyatt knows. I don't know.
I have an idea. So things get, as the books go, and maybe you can either agree or disagree with this. The books, from what I've looked at, the books get longer and longer as they go, which makes sense. You're building into something and, you're getting your first taste in, the first book. But I think the last book was about, the one I read, book 4, was about 600 pages. And I literally cut through this like butter. Like, it is such a smooth read. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm a fast reader to begin with, but going through this book, it's just like I look down
compelling.
and I've
It's
read
compelling.
20
It's
pages.
really well written.
It really is.
It's compelling. Yeah. It's the best way I can think to put it.
I've always been the type of person, and I've been told that my grandmother, my dad's mom, was the same way. She just absorbed books, and she used to tell my dad that she loved reading books because it would transport her into the world. Like, she has the movie playing in her head. And that's the
I think we
same
all
way
do.
that
Yeah.
we don't. I've talked to a few people that literally like, what do you mean you see like movies or thing? Like, I see the words and I read the words, and I'm like, that sucks.
Oh, that does suck. No,
Like,
I
I get
mean,
to create the movie in my head.
Yeah, I don't read a whole lot of novels. I just, for whatever reason, like reading nonfiction stuff. But yeah, that's one of the best parts. And that's what's so fun with a property that hasn't been developed yet like this, is that
You get to create.
you create your own version of what everything looks like. There are sections in the book that have like little helpful illustrations to give you an idea of what this rat man looks like. But you assign them their own voice and you assign them all this stuff in your head and what the hallways in this dungeon might look like and what the goblins riding uh some sort of tank device
A
mower
tank-looking
thing.
Zamboni.
Yeah, exactly. Might look like, and it's all a bit described as ramshackle and thrown together from bits of the old world. That's a neat point too, is that all the buildings that got pancaked are apparently like rearranged to
Yes.
build the dungeons.
They've been
So the
restructured
the
to
whole
be used in the dungeon.
Yeah, the whole dungeon world is a reimagining of Earth in some ways, or a reuse of Earth, recycled Earth.
Some of it is, yes.
You know more than I do. You know more
Yeah.
than I do.
But
But
the
yeah,
the safe rooms, which is like where the tutorial room, those are all fashioned after like fast food joints from all around the world. Because like every time they go in, they're like, "Oh, this one kind of looks like what a Taco Bell looked like at home, except
oh,
they
that's
have
awesome.
something different."
Yeah, so that should be mentioned too, is that they basically have save rooms in
Yes,
this world.
yep. It's very video game tabletop RPG. Like, if you
I'm
enjoy
thinking,
that stuff,
Metroidvania all day
yep.
long kind of thing, like endless, corners in a large map, and the map, literally, it says in the book, like, it has the fog of war around it kind of
Yep.
thing, and as you explore outward, the map was updating in the character's head, and they could see how they've unlocked more of it, and then they have to get to a save room, which is a safe place. I mean, come on, it's a Castlevania game. I love it.
You're not really wrong. and that might be part of why I enjoy it so much. But I actually, on my lunch break today, I got to go run over to the library because book 5 came in at my library, so I'm going to go
Oh,
hop into that.
nice.
There's currently 7 books out. The 8th, I believe, is releasing in either May or June of this year, and Matt Dinniman originally said he wanted to write 10 books,
Wow.
which I hope he. It's so weird because we've had this conversation before where I think that TV shows should have a season and they should be done. But
Oh, where
this,
appropriate. Yeah.
yeah, tell a story and be done is how I,
Mhm.
instead of something like The Office, the same way I feel about Squid
Everything reaches
Game.
a point where you start pulling blood from a stone kind of
Right,
thing, and this property is no longer enjoyable because they've just milked it to death. Yeah.
right. And I'm sure if Matt Dinniman has planned 10 books, he knows how he wants the story to go and this is what he wants to do. But part of me is like, oh man, this thing's going to be over.
Yeah,
I
I
enjoy
love
this
this
so
thing so
much.
much. But if he's
Which,
writing 7 in 5 years, he's not exactly gonna George R.R. Martin the whole situation, is he? I mean,
unless he does, he gets to
unless he
book
does
9
and
and
decide he
then
can't write
he
the 8th
waits
one.
30 years.
Yeah. We mentioned this briefly last night, but, not even being halfway through the first book, and I'm already like, "This is this is the next franchise property to me. It has to be. It will be. How
It
could
makes
this
too
not
much
be
sense.
huge?" It will be enormously costly to produce, I would imagine. But it's gonna get turned into something, be it, probably a streaming series, ugh. But, I mean, this could easily be another movie universe. I don't think that they would have a problem with, having enough source material by any stretch of the imagination. You mentioned that it has already been optioned by Universal.
Yeah,
All right.
Universal and Seth MacFarlane's company, I
How do you
believe,
feel about
is.
that?
I don't know. Like, depending on which Seth MacFarlane you get,
Yep.
I would say. Um,
I don't see
it,
Seth MacFarlane as being Family Guy guy anymore, and I don't know how much input he even has in the production of that show these days. I
it's
associate him with something like the Orville much more, or Ted, I guess.
Yeah, and the tone of Dungeon Crawler Carl does work. If it's more of Orville and like even kind of Ted McFarlane compared to Family Guy, Cleveland Show,
Mhm.
American Dad McFarlane, I think it'd be good. But also I don't know how much input he's actually going to have because they have hired I think it was Christopher Yost, I believe is his name, to write the
I
series,
know that
which
I know
he
that name
hasn't
somehow.
started yet, but I believe Yost is known for a lot of Marvel stuff. He did Marvel and DC Comics. He did
Oh,
some
right, yeah,
writing
yeah, yeah.
for Marvel show or Marvel movie. I think Thor: Dark World and Thor: Ragnarok. He might have been the writer for.
He wrote Ragnarok, that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of the things. I will probably watch it when and if it comes out because I enjoy it so much. But I think I've said this before, either to you or on the podcast. But
Mhm.
my favorite book of all time is The Count of Monte Cristo. I read
Yep.
it 20 something years ago, and for whatever reason, I read the unabridged, like 1300-page version, and it just like enthralled me. And because of like how vivid and how much I loved that book, I have never watched a digital adaptation, a visual adaptation. I've never watched any of the movies or anything that they've created of it because I just know for a fact that it's going to disappoint me from what
Yeah, and then it
I have
alters your
done.
perception forever of that thing. Yeah.
Right. So I'm not saying that Dungeon Crawler Carl, like, I really enjoy the book. I don't know if I'd put it up in like my top 5 favorite books ever. I mean, series wise, like, it's probably one of my favorite series I've ever read. But I don't know if I'd want to see a TV show.
It
Obviously,
just
it's going to
lends itself
happen.
so well.
Yes, it's
It
going to
just
happen
it's
because
gonna
it
happen.
is. It's the
Yeah,
perfect material for it.
having said all that we've said, and even thinking about stuff, I trust him to have a deft hand more than I would others. I'll
Yes.
say that. I think that he recognizes that people care about a property and will treat it with some level of care. Um, I really enjoyed the Orville in so much as it started out as like this snarky version comedy of Star Trek,
And then it became a better Star Trek than Star Trek.
Exactly. And it's almost like he got that stuff out of the way to sell the show to Fox and then started making the show that he wanted to. Because that show has a ton of heart, actually. And actually, teaches nice lessons. Like, it feels like Next Generation. The whole thing's just
Yeah.
a love letter to Star Trek. So having seen that more recently, I only started watching that 6 months ago or whatever. It puts me in a confident place that it'll be handled reasonably well with care if it's from the same, production company that's his. Um, I would hope that it's good. Plus, talking about Ted, the new season of that starts up, I think, at the beginning of March. I'm rewatching the first season. That has to be one of the funniest shows that's come out in like the last 5 years. That show
I gotta say,
kills
like,
me.
I had
Kills me.
no desire to watch that at all. And I watched it when I was visiting you out in Chicago. You had popped it on, and
Mhm.
I was like, wow, I actually really enjoy this. Like,
Yeah, you take Marky Mark out of the equation, man. It's all good.
it's
I
true.
think
Like,
we've even talked
it was
about it on this show.
it was fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and I will probably watch this. Did you say the second season is coming out or it came out?
It comes out, I think, the first week in March. It'll be on Peacock.
Yeah, I will probably
Yeah,
be watching
dude. I mean,
that.
the performances are so good. Alana Pierce, who is just one of my favorites of all time, she kills it as like this overbearing '90s mom. Just everything is sunshine and bubbles. She's so good. And when you compare that to like her in Waiting or as Roxy in Always Sunny, like she is just so
Yeah.
unbelievably talented. I've read a bunch of people like, "Holy shit, that's her that plays the mom? I didn't even put that together." And then the actor who was also in the Orville, the redheaded guy, plays the dad, is like
Oh yeah.
hilarious. He kills me. So it's not just about the animated teddy bear. Like it's just a really good ensemble show that happens to take place in the mid-90s.
Yep.
So I relate to it a lot too. If you haven't watched that one, go check it out. Well worth it.
Oh, I don't know we wanted to mention with Dungeon Crawler Carl, we're talking about the TV series. There's also a tabletop RPG, which obviously is being created. I mean, that literally is what the show is. I said I thought I had saw this before, and then I did some more research, and I didn't. There's no video game planned, but how do you think this would lend itself to a video game universe? I mean, obviously it is a video game universe, but how do you think, like...
It doesn't work for me.
Okay.
Unless it was like, I don't know, some weird breaking of the fourth wall with the player or something in terms of presentation. But because it pulls from all those worlds so heavily to build the narrative, and then I feel like something would be lost if you then try and take that and reconstitute it back into game form.
What if...
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
What if this was done, and I'm not a fan of these really at all, but what if you turned this into a PvE, like online type game that had a beginning and an end where, let's say more or less like the show. I think the idea of the show is whoever gets to the end gets whatever the prize is. I don't think it's ever said what the prize is if someone wins because no one's ever done it. But what if you turned it into a game like that where there are one season is, in the book, each level, each floor, I believe is like 10 to 14 days that you have to complete the level to find the next staircase to go down to the next level.
I think it's 15, they said.
It
But
changes
whatever
depending
it is. It changes
on the floor.
Yeah.
But what if you did something like that where like you have 14 day, I don't know. It probably wouldn't work as a video game, especially if it was a permadeath, because it would have to be a permadeath situation. Like you get to play this game, everyone starts on the first floor, people die, you're out for the season. And let's say a level lasts, it would have to be a week because some people can only play games, on the weekends. Some people,
Are we
it would
talking
have to be
about
enough
like a
time.
1v100 type situation almost kind of thing where you have to just compete against a set pool of players to try and make it to the next floor?
You got to compete against a set pool of players, but you also have to compete against the environment that's trying to kill them.
Right. Of course,
Right.
yes.
So It would be very hard. I don't think that there's anyone that would really be able to do it right, but I think it would be a very interesting property of, say, I mean, you'd have to have a huge install base
You'd have
for
to
it
have a
to
huge
really make
install base,
sense.
and it would have to be like live. Like there would have to be people on the other end coordinating things and reacting to events that occur in the game, I would think.
Which
Maybe
you kind of
Fortnite's
saw
already doing
that
that.
in Helldivers too. You
Yeah,
had the game
true.
master in the background that was weaving the narrative and seeing what the players are doing, and then the next invasions happening with this or that. So it could possibly be done. Do I think it would be done well or done correctly? No, but I think it would be really interesting to see something like that done well. Like, let's just say, and this is pie in the sky numbers, like, let's say you get 500,000 people that want to play this game and everyone starts, at level one, your world collapses and you go into the dungeon and you just go from that and you just build down to 18 floors or whatever, and like there doesn't necessarily have to be a winner. Like, I don't know, it
Yeah.
just
How does
the
it work when
idea
every
of the
single
book
player
as a
wants to
video game.
play as Princess Kitty?
And if they choose that, like, there are, as you see in the book, going forward, like there are pros and cons to picking what different classes or different races that you can pick.
Oh
And
yeah, so once you hit the third floor, you have to choose a class, and you might transform into a
something
anthropomorphic
else.
animal of some
Yep.
sort at some point, and all of that fun stuff that I haven't seen yet. I think you're saying all this, and this is all like cool ideas, but I think maybe a little pie in the sky. There is a way that you could do it somewhat successfully and a lot cheaper into a video game. Was what if it was a like Telltale choose your own adventure type of thing?
Yeah, I think if it does happen, that would probably be the way to go. Essentially, maybe playing a story parallel to Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Mm-hmm.
You're a different crawler that comes in, and as you go through the books, like you are introduced to other characters that came in from different walks of life and stuff. So it would be very easy to do something like that from the perspective of crawler number 3
You
million,
are
blah 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 blah
unknown
blah.
crawler number 3,287. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That
So
that would be definitely cool.
I I th- I could see that happening. That's probably much more likely to happen than my pie in the sky, like hopeful PvE VP player versus environment. For people that don't know what that stands for,
That was me.
basically you basically you're playing against other players, but also the video game you're playing against as well. Um, I don't know. This is a topic. This is a
Like
series
you
that
could do
I
5
could.
episodes just on this series. It's way deeper than I haven't scratched the surface yet, and you're well into it, and I feel like I can already see how huge this thing is.
I got a feeling we might have to maybe going
Check
forward,
back
if
in
you
with
stick with
Carl.
this. I was just say we might have to have a spin-off series of episodes just revolving around the Dungeon Crawler Carl universe,
Yeah.
because like I said, I enjoy all of this so very much.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we've even touched on it. It's certainly a very important part to why it's successful for me. It's funny. It's all very,
It
very
is.
funny. It's written from the the protagonist's perspective, so you get his inner monologue, and he's asking what the fuck just as much as you would be in that situation, and he's reacting to all these things very much in the moment as you are too. Um, and it works really well because yeah, it's very serious stuff and somebody's getting their head bashed in, but you're kind of like, oh, is it a video game? This is kind of fun. It's just yeah, it's compelling.
Well,
That's what I
the
can say.
other thing that I'm not sure if you've really seen yet, and it's not really giving anything away, but there is an overarching like system AI that is running the season. The corporations install this AI to basically like dole out rewards, and if you get a loot box, it does all that stuff.
That's like the
But
female system voice that makes some of the announcements. Is
yeah,
that right? Yeah.
yeah. But as you go, like anytime Carl, because we basically see the book exclusively from his perspective, but anytime Carl finds something, like he's able to, like in a video game, he can inspect the item and the system AI will, give a description of it, but it's
Mhm.
just it's a smart ass. It has an actual personality. It's just kind of funny seeing the way that like sometimes if Carl does something that the AI doesn't like, it gets pissed at him, and it talks about, the description a different way. Like one time I think it really pisses off the system AI, and the AI is basically like, screw you. It's this. Like
Oh, and like the whole joke going in that like items in the world mock him is that he runs outside to get the cat before the world collapses with no pants. So like the
yeah,
entire opening of the book, we've already like set out on the journey into the dungeon. He's gone through the tutorial, got his first loot boxes, all this stuff, and he still doesn't have pants. I
yeah,
think is
he has
wonderful.
heart boxers and a leather
Yeah.
jacket, I believe is what he went outside in.
And like the cat is turning around and being like, God, you look like an asshole. We got to find you some pants. Like, it's great, man. So without giving away that whole series to me or the audience, yeah, go
Check it
check it
out.
out if you
Check out
haven't.
your local library. That's the
Yeah, for
first place
sure.
I would look. Nick and I are
Rather
both
popular,
huge
rather
proponents of
popular.
libraries.
We are, but I will say that it was in my queue forever, and the queue felt like it was never going to go down. Uh, Even if it was very, very popular series. So when I had the opportunity to grab a physical copy for $11, I figured, why not support it? I know I'm going to enjoy this thing.
So there is a point in Live in the Middle of Nowhere for Wyatt where he hasn't had to wait very long for any of the books.
Oh yeah, so yeah, say my library gets 2 copies of each one. Like it's a hot property, you know.
So, kind of on topic, but not off on topic. Does your library do an interlibrary loan system, or are you only able to borrow from your library?
No, I can use any of the village libraries that are part of the system, which is most in the immediate area. So because I'm in Illinois, it's very unique. We have a village government system, which I thought was really strange when I first got here as an outsider, but actually works really well. Every village
Someone listens
uh,
to you.
yeah, every village has its own tiny government. They have their own fire, their own police, everything, which means they all have libraries as well, which can kind of saturate things a little bit, but there's just more options for me. And so let's say there's 4 or 5 libraries in the surrounding villages to me. I actually have access to all of them. Um, in so much as that I can use my card from my local one at any of those and take out books, movies, what have you. Now, there are limitations though. I can't use the library of things from other libraries
Yep.
because that has to be for their people first. There are limitations, like the one library has 3D printers and stuff you can use. I don't have access to those. I would have to like pay a small fee to use those if I wanted to. Understandable money on their end. Request it, if that library has a copy and mine doesn't. I believe they can send it to my library. But
Yep.
with something like
That's the way
Dungeon
mine
Carl,
works.
yeah, Dungeon Crawler Carl is way too popular. They're like, yeah, we're not giving you a copy of that. We need ours. Um, but yeah, it's an awesome system. I love it to death. Libraries rule.
Yeah, I don't think any of the 4 books I've taken out, my local library doesn't have any Dungeon Crawler Carl books. So I think my interlibrary is 11 or 12 different libraries in the area. So most
Mm-hmm.
of my books have come pulled from other locations. In fact,
Oh,
the one
that's
I'm going to pick up this afternoon is going to be from another library, which is great. I just love that.
yeah. I should mention as well. Like I can't use digital credits from other libraries either. So the way it works with if you have a Kindle or something, there's basically a queue system because they own X number of licenses
Yep.
digitally for that book as well. The same as there would be for a physical book.
That's the
Um,
same way here. I'm only allowed to borrow digital books from my
my
local
immediate
library.
library. And
Yeah.
like, say my library uses the digital streaming services Canopy and Libby for access to free digital stuff. I don't have access to the service that the next door library might use with their
Yeah.
membership. It just is what it is. But I mean, on the whole, there is absolutely nothing I can't get a hold of if I wanted it. I don't think.
That's just in general, really.
Yeah, libraries rule. Well,
Yep.
yeah, or just them through the magic of the internet. But on that note, we have 2 things or regular segments that we still have to make it to. But our first regular segment is a scheduled break because it's time for Nick to process his coffee. So I will be back with you in just a moment for Backlog Buster Brothers and my Chump of the Week.
Fuck you, Baltimore!
If you're dumb enough to buy a new car this weekend,
You're a big enough schmuck to come to Big Bill Hell's Cars!
bad deal.
Cars that break down!
Thieves.
If you think you're gonna find a bargain at Big Bill,
You can kiss my ass.
it's our belief that you're such a stupid motherfucker!
You'll fall for this bullshit.
Guaranteed!
If you find a better deal,
Shove it up your ugly ass!
you heard us right.
Shove it up your ugly ass!
Bring your tray.
Bring your title!
Bring your wife.
We'll fuck her!
That's right, we'll fuck your wife.
Because at Big Bill Hell,
You're fucked 6 ways from Sunday.
take a hike
to Big Bill Hell.
home of challenge pissing!
That's right.
Challenge pissing!
How does it work?
If you can piss 6 feet in the air straight up and not get wet,
You get no down payment.
don't wait!
Don't delay.
Don't fuck with us or we'll rip your nuts off!
Only at Big Bill Hell.
The only dealer that tells you to fuck off!
Hurry up, asshole.
This event ends the minute after you write us a check!
And it better not bounce or you're a dead motherfucker.
Go to hell!
Big Bill Hell's Cars.
Baltimore's filthiest
And exclusive home of the meanest sons of bitches in the state of Maryland.
guaranteed!
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking around while I drained urine from my body. Wyatt, we have to get to two very important segments.
We do.
The first is a chump of the week. You know who was in the news this week?
Who was in the news this week?
A video game maker that I have made fun of on this show a lot of times. They're French. I don't know how much that has to do with anything, but
I was gonna say there's actually two French video game makers you could go with here.
well, the one used to work for this company and went off and made Game of the Year, and yeah, the other is Ubisoft. Ubisoft has largely been a kicking bag for me for the past, I don't know, 5, 6, 10 years.
Deservedly so.
In so much as they are the worst offenders in publishing of putting out year after year new skin on an old formulaic crap. We don't believe in our own products enough to even charge full price for them for more than 2 weeks. So the joke with Ubisoft stuff is always like, oh, you're actually interested in that game? Yeah, give it a month. It'll be $5.
Never buy an Ubisoft game on release. Just
Yeah.
don't.
So they have kind of been in the news quite a bit recently, and especially even more today. They're going to write down a loss of over $1 billion for the ending year of 2026, which just started. If they're already forecasting that for their year, I don't think it's sunshine and rainbows ahead for them. This is a company whose CEO said proudly that gamers need to get used to not owning games, and that they should get used to a subscription model, once again, that you could, then go in and play all the Ubisoft games that you know and love, and
Bite
maybe
me.
even use their cloud server compute and all of that shit. You can't say that to me, or I think a lot of people, and not get a reaction. And people don't want to be told that they're not going to be able to own games. If they're paying for them, they'd like to know that they own them. And the balls to say something like that when, from my eyes, a lot of what you're publishing is just this year's version of an Assassin's Creed and stuff like that. How out of touch are these developers? They're not, I shouldn't say developers because that's not fair. How out of touch are these publishers? These are all decisions made in a boardroom by people that don't make games, don't play games, don't give a shit about games, and look at every single thing as numbers on a spreadsheet. Number must go up. And the amount of schadenfreude that I get out of watching them fail is immeasurable. So, I mean, if you have the balls to come out and say this is the way it works now, and you people as consumers need to get on with the new world order or step aside, I will do a dance today when your entire stock tanks. I'm not happy that you have to lay off thousands of people, but this is a bet of your own making. And so now, of course, there's some jerk off coming out saying like, well, it's these people pushing these DEI initiatives. It's a French company, for Christ's sakes. I'm not trying to listen to that horse shit. It's because you poisoned your own well, and you got greedy as hell, just like every other asshole said out there. And that is exactly why Ubisoft are my chump of the week.
And you are my chump of the week.
Chump.
Jump.
Yeah, let me just say this to you. That's what I feel for you, Ubisoft. On to more happy matters. While I just ranted at a company forever, we have to get into my favorite segment sometimes, where we talk about the things that we have consumed and assigned to each other. It is time for Backlog Buster Brothers. And guess what? Nick made a theme.
What?
That's my voice. Run through about
I
a
don't
dozen
hear it.
filters. Oh, you didn't hear that? Oh.
No. You're gonna have to put that in post.
Oh, buddy. Why must things be like this? Okay, well, that was the fun thing. But enjoy the brand new music that I didn't get to play live. So I guess the best way to jump into this is going back to where we left off last week, which is we're both still playing Hollow Knight.
I love Hollow Knight.
I do too.
How far have you made it? What do you have for upgrades?
Minimal. I mean,
Okay.
I'll be straight up with you. I barely got to play much this week at all. Just
you had a
life
big
getting in
week.
the way. I had a lot of plans to play it, but as far as how much I actually did, probably, I don't know, 90 minutes, something like that.
Hey, you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. So I'd like
Your
to have
buddy
more to
over
report.
here played way too much.
Oh, okay. Well, I had said last week's show that I was like 8 to 10 hours in, and that was just wrong. I was like 5 hours in. So where am I now? Like, I don't know, 7. So tons of this game still left in front of me, but I'm just having fun when I do check in with it. It doesn't take me long to figure out where I need to be and what I'm supposed to be doing, which is just a testament to how well it's designed in that genre. And I'm just having fun exploring and looking around. I did just get some new upgrade that's completely escaping me at the moment. If I had a qualm with the game, it's that the base attack that I have right now that I started with the game with, I still have, and I find it lacking at this point in the game. I'm waiting to get more powerful, is what I should say.
It sounds like you have not found the gentleman that can help you sharpen your nail, then.
That is absolutely 100% correct then. No,
And
I have dash, like I have that. Haven't had that for really even that long, I guess. But I think that was the last major upgrade. So that tells you how like early I basically am in the game. I have the tokens that we talked about last week with the know where the benches are, know where the stores are, know all that stuff. I bought all those. I don't know, you tell me what's coming for me. You're way ahead of me.
well, I don't want to tell you what's coming because, I don't want to ruin anything.
Mm.
But I would say at the point that you are right now, you probably want to go searching and find out. I believe his name is the Nailsmith. And
Mhm.
as long as you have enough Geo, which is the currency, he will make your attack more powerful, which
Well, that's
will
kind of been
certainly
where I'm
help you.
at is trying to stack cash in it by just exploring around the map and killing people. But there's also in order to unlock pieces of the map, you have to buy them. And I've been
Yep.
hunting around for that guy in one section of the map that's not currently revealed to me, and haven't had any luck so far. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do is just unlock that whole one section. Excuse me. But like I said, I could just tool around and have a great time. Again, art style is unbelievably brilliant. The controls are as tight as they could possibly be and
Game is
perfect.
beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you had mentioned latency being a concern in that game, and it would be. Uh, that's how tight and perfect the jump and the attack and the controls are. I will say again, having played more and dying plenty, I die a lot in this game. I don't think Wyatt does because he's really good at video games.
I'm okay.
I die a lot, but at no point have I gotten frustrated and saying this game is bullshit and I'm not going to do this anymore. I hop back off the bench and start again, and I realized that I lost because I was pushing too hard, too fast on that boss and just wanting to get it done. Whereas I know the patterns, and if I just slow down and do it right, I'll get through. Uh, so I think that's good game design because it's challenge without being frustrating. Where are you?
Where I'm starting to get to the point where I'm getting to enjoy that little bit of power fantasy. I'm still I'm about, I think I got 9.5 hours in the game, and I think the game is 15 or so to beat the main story. So I'm about 2/3 done it.
Yeah, I
I
think I read
just
12 to 15 or something like
yeah.
that.
So I've been doing a lot of exploring, so I would say 2/3. I'm probably a little over half. I feel like I just had a story beat that is probably like hey, this is opening up where if you do these things, you can start going towards the end game. So I think I'm like definitely in the back half of the story. But there's still plenty. I haven't uncovered the entire map yet. I know that there's still a number of different biomes I haven't been to yet. But the last thing I unlocked was the double jump,
Mhm.
which is awesome. I love having a double jump in a game.
Oh, it's a huge part of
Obviously,
any Metroidvania game. You got to
yeah.
unlock the double jump.
Yep. So
I'm
I
I'm
just
s-
did that.
I'm still chasing the. I hate to just say that the chick version of Hollow Knight, but whoever the protagonist from I
Hornet.
assume Silk Song is Hornet. Thank you.
Yeah,
I've had to fight her a couple times now. She's tough. Um,
she is.
and then she gets harder each time and then runs off again. But I'm really enjoying that whole part. I'm assuming that she'll side up with me at some point. Uh,
You'll
but
have to find out.
right. I'm not going to say that I'm going to finish this next week because I always push myself into corners with all this stuff. But
Yeah,
I
just play it.
will just play this game and finish it at my own pace without doubt. Could you knock it out in a week? Absolutely. But we all have lives and jobs and children and dogs and cats and lives and people that demand things of us. So sometimes the hobby's got to get pushed a little in the background. Plus, I had Clover Pit to play.
I nope, I haven't played Clover Pit. I was playing what is it? Ball Cross Pit,
Oh,
Ball X
Ball
Pit.
X Pit. Yeah, I played that once on Game Pass.
That's where I've played it.
Yeah, and I think I had mentioned this to you. It from the start and to the point where it was like eyes bleed territory on the screen was a little too quick for me. Like once you get into like the late stage of like a 40-minute
Yeah,
run in Vampire Survivors, and there's so much happening and so many guys and so many weapons that the screen just turns almost into like a hypnosis
yeah,
blur
that
of
happens in
color.
10 minutes.
That happened in Ball X Pit like right away. And it may have just hit me on the wrong evening where I was like, whoa, this is a bit too intense for me right now. I haven't gone back to it since, but I love the breakout formula, and it's a smart idea.
Yeah. So I got one question for you, and I know we've both been singing the praises of this game of Hollow Knight and how much we enjoy it.
Hmm.
Our friend Aaron said he does not like the fact that if you lose to a boss, that he thinks these save points are too far away from like the boss room to retry it.
Hasn't
Have
been
you?
my experience.
I was gonna say. There's been a couple times where I have died, like maybe I haven't hit a bench and I went to a
Hmm.
boss that was like 3 biomes over. Um, which can be annoying, definitely, but I enjoy the game so much that it's like, you know what? One, as you said before, I died because of myself.
Hmm.
You were like, okay, cool, I can weave through this and hit this guy here instead of just waiting for the attack to pass
Yeah.
and making another swipe. Like Hollow Knight is definitely hard, but it's 100% pattern recognition. Just kind
Hmm.
of sit back. From what I've seen so far, each boss has 2 to 4 different attacks, and you just need to know how to weave yourself through that. I haven't felt like, as you've said, I haven't felt cheated at all. If I've died, I've been like, you're an idiot. Why did I do that? Or, maybe I went to do some platforming stuff and I ended up hitting some spikes and killed myself, and it's like, man, that was dumb. But
Yeah, it is tough, like you said, but yeah, I've never felt cheated by it. Like, cheap bullshit. And the save point things you save by, whereas in, Castlevania, you might go into a physical save room and spin the coffin that envelops you and all that stuff. This has little rooms where there are park benches that you sit down on, replenishes your life, saves the game. Um, as soon as you get to the point where you can mark those on your map, I've never felt like one was too far away. Especially anywhere where there is a boss or like a major next step in the game. I haven't found myself having to retread through 30 minutes of gameplay to go back to do that, which has happened in some games in Castlevanias for me in the past. Um,
yep.
For sure. And that to me, that's just like part of the gig with that whole genre of games. Like that's gonna happen, and you need to mind yourself. Like I will get my hand slapped when I go off and explore and go into an area that I had no business being in the game yet, and I just spent a half an hour getting there, and I got slaughtered when I walked into that area. That's when it gets a little frustrating. But as far as like having to go through a bunch of BS to get back to even face the boss again, I haven't experienced that yet.
All right. So I think that ends Hollow Knight talk for this week. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's only so
Maybe
much you can Hollow Knight.
yeah. Maybe if and when one or both of us finish the game, we can bring it back up again. I don't
Yeah.
think there's a need for a weekly Hollow Knight update, but
Oh no, you can say you can just check in with. By the way, I finished it. I think would be as much as we need at
yeah.
this point.
But I would say that. I mean, I'm the one that assigned the game, but I would venture to say that this was a good assignment for you on this one.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's pretty damn close to a perfect version of the formula. I won't give any final ratings while I'm still in the middle of it, but I have very little in the way of negative things to say about the whole thing.
But see, this is one of the exact reasons why we started doing Backlog Buster Brothers, because this game's been out since 2017. An immensely popular game, a great game all around, and for whatever reason, it passed both of us by, and I honestly don't know if I ever would have popped it back in a system without like having it be an assignment to do. It always just would have been something where like, I'll play that sometime, and then just not.
Yeah, as I look at things like Fallout 4 and Final Fantasy 15 and various other titles all up on my shelf. No, that's exactly what it is. And it's like, I'll get to it. And you have, the best of intentions to do so. But then new stuff keeps coming along, and the voices only get louder about other things that you'll also enjoy. And now this thing that's 7 or 8 years old now kind of keeps getting pushed down, pushed down, pushed down. And you do mean that you will get to it eventually. But without accountability buddies, it may not happen. And that's what Wyatt and I are here for each other for.
Which, peek behind the curtain, that was almost the name of the podcast, was Accountability Buddies, but our love of Tim Robinson and Detroiters, I think, overshot a title that, not that anyone knows what this title means, but I'm not sure how well the Accountability Buddies title would have played.
Bot sticks from all tips.
Which, past Hollow Knight, since we are done talking about that, you assigned us both a new movie. So we're going to both be talking about something that was new to us this week, not a classic that the other already loved.
Yeah, we watched the movie Adulthood, an Alex Winter directed and bit part played movie starring Josh Gad and Kaya. I cannot remember her last name. And I don't want to be rude. Kaya Scodelario, I believe. I butchered probably both first and last name, but
Kaya Scodelario. Kaya Scodelario.
something.
Yeah,
I tried.
Yep.
Also, I got apparently a little bit of a lisp there going on. Anthony Kerrigan is in the movie. He plays the cousin, I believe, of the two main characters.
That's my guy.
Yeah. It says Christopher Candy's in it, who's John Candy's son, and I cannot remember for the life of me who he would have played. So I would have
I didn't pick up on that at all. I'm just looking at this nice young lady whose name we can't pronounce. That's where I couldn't place her from. She was in the TV series of The Gentleman. If you ever saw that Guy Ritchie movie, they made a Netflix series out of it that was actually quite good. And she played Susie Glass, who's she's a gangster, basically. I couldn't place where I knew her from until I just pulled up this IMDb list.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So the
basic
premise of the movie is that Josh Gad moved out to Los Angeles. This takes place in New York, I think. Upstate New York, I think, is where
Mhm.
the movie takes place. But Josh Gad moved out to Los Angeles to become a TV writer. Their mother has a stroke, has a fall. She's not doing very well. So Josh Gad comes home to check on his mom, sees his sister. It seems like him and his sister kind of have a somewhat strained relationship. Uh, and Josh Gad more or less comes back to help set family affairs up, and then he plans on, after the weekend, going back to Los Angeles and continuing his life. He doesn't think there's any need for him to be out there. They go back to their mother's house. They kind of have a little bit of back and forth. Josh Gad says he's just going to stay there. He's not going to get a hotel. Why would he stay anywhere else? He's going to stay there for the weekend. They poke down into the basement just to look around,
Go through the
and
boxes of their childhood kind of
Yep.
thing.
and as they're down there, they happen to see that everything seems to be damp. Everything's wet. Josh Gad flips out because his box of Pokemon cards that are worth so much money
Yeah, you
have
know how
been
much these
destroyed
magic
by
cards are
water.
worth? Yeah.
And they happen to see that there's the water tank, hot water heater is leaking all over the floor. It's super wet. It's moldy. It smells bad. And this isn't really giving anything away because it's the whole premise of the movie.
Yeah.
They're going around the basement and they see that a wall is just sopping wet with molds, and they ended up like poking through the wall, and what comes out but a dead body of a woman dressed in like 90s, basically your 90s workout type, like
Imagine
windbreaker.
like a neon ski outfit, like
Yes,
those kind
yes,
of
that.
jogging suits that women would power walk around in the neighborhood of suburbia, kind of thing.
Yes, exactly that. And so both of the main characters flip out because what is this dead body doing here? They're flipping out saying like it's clearly been here for, forever, because it's a skeleton at this point. It's
Well,
not
they make a point of saying, I remember that jogging
exactly.
outfit, and like how
Yeah.
obviously this happened 30 years ago just
Yeah.
because of the
Like,
clothes that the
yeah,
skeleton
my
has
friends
on.
came down here and played, and then she's like, I lost my virginity on that couch, and they're just like, oh my god, that this dead body's been here the whole time. And they make the rash decision that, okay, mom, we're going to take care of this for you. We need to just get rid of this body because we can't have anyone find this. We don't
Well,
want.
Dad's dead. This body's been dead for 30 years.
Yeah.
Mom's had a stroke. The only thing that's gonna come of us reporting this dead body that we found in the basement is
It's going to
us.
stress her out where she's already weakened.
And we're gonna lose the house and any hope of any future inheritance that there may have
That's
been.
the big
because
thing.
It's
Yes.
gonna be eaten alive by getting sued by the kids of this woman that was murdered in our home 30 years ago, and all of this stuff. So that's your setup, I guess, is the basic premise. How did you feel about it? Dead air speaks volumes.
No, I mean, because I was just thinking, like, it wasn't amazing. It wasn't great. It
Yeah.
had some good parts to it. I
Yes.
enjoyed probably 70% of it. The end of the movie, I didn't really care for.
Yep.
I remember the movie ending, and I watched this with Caitlin, and we're both just like, all right, well, that's over. Like, there were good.
That's exactly what happened. Midge and I watched it on Friday night, and it was both like credits roll, look at each other. It's like, that sure was a movie.
It wasn't amazing. It wasn't good, but I wouldn't say it was bad. Like,
It's
Anthony
not.
Carrigan, I think, was a really fun character.
He was
Seeing
fantastic.
his
And you know
Bodhi.
that character. You know him.
Yes.
Even though he's kind of, he's off center, and you don't really know what he's capable of, and is he insane? But he's actually just kind of this weird, innocent.
He's just weird, just
Yeah.
friends. And
He's
your
eccentric.
family. Yes.
Yeah.
There were some, I wouldn't even call them high points of the movie, but there's some parts of the movie that I did enjoy. This definitely does not stack up to the other Alex Winter directed project, Destroy All Neighbors, with Jonah
Not even
Ray.
close. Not even
I
close.
think that was a legitimately good movie.
Mhm.
Adulthood, I wouldn't watch it again. I'm not the biggest Josh Gad fan. I don't think he was terrible in this movie. Like, I don't know.
think he was fine, but the movie has done no favors by him starring in it.
No,
He
didn't elevate
plays-
anything.
Yeah, he plays the kid that was the high school theater star who goes out to LA to make a living writing in television and movies or what have you. and he's certainly very suited for that role. I can't. I find him annoying as shit because he is an amalgam of every over-the-top theater kid you've ever met in your entire life. Um, I don't know how to better put it than that. It's not really fair to him, but there's something about him that I don't really like very much. And, Book of Mormon was a fantastic thing. I'll never take that away from him. But he's playing some sort of Josh Gad in everything that he's in. And maybe this is the edgier, pothead, slacker Josh Gad guy, but it goes back to something that we've touched on recently with other stuff. There's no one likable in this movie.
No, Anthony Kerrigan's Anthony Kerrigan's character is
Mick ends
probably
up
the
being
most likable,
most
and
sympathetic character, the only
yes.
character you can sympathize with, really.
And he does some stuff that you're like, oh man, dude, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Like Billy Lord was in this, Princess Leia's daughter, who I have a huge crush on. I think she's wonderful, and she's great in this too, but she's not
she's a
given
terrible
lot.
person.
She's not given a whole lot to do with, and yeah, it starts off with her being like, okay, I see what you guys are doing. I'm going to get mine. But then, things snowball from there. And everything that happens in this movie is just a result of these characters making horrible choices that are completely advisable. And so, like, you as the viewer are like, well, yes, everyone sucks here. And you guys kind of got what you all deserved. I don't know. That's the way I ended up feeling.
So let me ask you, and it probably wouldn't change absolutely anything,
Mhm.
and this is just a thought experiment here.
Yeah, sure.
What if you took Jonah Ray from Destroy All Neighbors and you took Josh Gad from Adulthood and you switched places? Do you think Josh Gad would ruin Destroy All Neighbors? Do you think that Jonah Ray would have elevated Adulthood at all? Or do you think that just the movies themselves are what the vehicles were that made them what they were?
Interesting question. I think that it's unique in so much as Destroy All Neighbors was Jonah Ray's project. That was his baby.
Yes. Yep.
Josh Gad is just starring in this,
He's
to the
just
best of
there.
my knowledge. Yeah. So that makes a huge difference right there. I'm by no stretch of the imagination some world's largest Jonah Ray fan. I knew him from Nerdist, and then he's off doing his own thing, and I saw No Neighbors.
He
Destroy
also
All
got to
Neighbors.
do the reboot of MS3TK.
Right, I know you've mentioned that as well.
Yep.
And I think the fact that it's his
MST3K.
project is what makes that better overall. But that whole movie had a lot more of a sense of self to me. It was a lot
Yeah.
higher in the silliness versus being so self-serious and trying to be shocking. Obviously, by the nature of what it is. You have, characters with their heads chopped off coming to life and talking to you. But yeah, I love Alex Winter, and he directed this. And you know what? I actually loved his little bit character that he does in this
I liked
movie.
him as Dougie Metzger. He had a fun little maybe 3 minutes in the movie, but
But
he
you
was
you knew that guy too in some
Yeah.
way. That's the mark of a good character is he's not really gonna hurt anybody, and he's just a little off, but he's just this dude that kind of just has
but
existed in this area for the last 30 years and just kind of wanders around. And he's like,
he also has
yeah,
good reason to be off though. His mother was
well,
murdered, or actually he didn't know. They didn't know. They thought the mother either took off or the father did something to her, but he had no closure. So he basically just kind of
well, it's even worse than that is everybody blamed
they
his
thought his
dad
dad did it.
and
Yeah.
assumed that his dad had killed his mom, and to which I think they say his dad drank himself to death and
Yeah.
the years leading after it kind of thing.
So yeah,
So
the Dougie character has great reason to be unhinged
Yeah.
because his entire world just fell apart.
but he's kind of like this disassociative, detached kind of lone wanderer who
Lives in a
says,
group home.
yeah, he says he lives at the group home, but I like to walk around because they won't let me smoke cigarettes there. So I just like to walk around and have smoke my cigarettes. And he's not hurting anyone. He's introduced
Nope.
at the very beginning as like this ominous, scary character, which he's not going to be. I don't know. I think you could have tweaked a few things to not make me hate the main two characters as much as I did, because I really just wasn't pulling for them. And
I think that was kind of the point, though.
I know
Like,
it
I don't
is.
think
I
you're.
know it is.
Yeah,
There's a deft hand in doing it, and where you find them delightfully despicable. And Josh Gad is not the guy to pull that off for me. Does that make sense? Am I terrible
Yeah.
for saying that?
I mean, we all have our actors and actresses we love and dislike, and it may not necessarily be fair sometimes to knock down a movie because of just the actor himself. But I
Yeah.
don't disagree with you that Josh Gad could have been anyone else. I think anyone else could have played Josh Gad's character, and I really don't think it would have changed the outcome of the movie. Not that Josh Gad is an amazing actor. I did enjoy him as Bear Claw in New Girl. That's about the only role that I've enjoyed him in.
See, I've never watched
Um,
that show. That's
yeah,
yet another one that you have to assign me.
that is a fun show. I
I
don't know
like
if I'll,
everybody in it.
it's
I've
like
just never seen it.
7 seasons, but
Yeah.
even just catching episodes here and there, it's fun. But yeah, the movie didn't have a ton to work with, so I don't think Josh Gad elevated anything, but I also don't think he harmed the final product. It just was.
That's entirely fair to say, and that maybe I'm being too hard on him because there wasn't necessarily that much for him to grab onto. And he is playing against type quite a bit in this movie,
Yes.
in so much that he's kind of like a selfish stoner, shitless layabout guy, where I think more often he's kind of cast as the uh lovable everyman that's, a little, I don't even know how to best describe it, but well, he plays Josh Gad, doesn't he?
He plays Josh Gad, and he
Yeah.
will be playing Son of Barf in Spaceballs 2.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's a big thing. Okay, so I forgot all about that. So yeah, that'll be my final say on Josh Gad is how that project turns out, because that's his baby, isn't it? I mean,
it
obviously
is.
it's Mel Brooks, but Mel Brooks is 99 years old. He's not actually producing shit.
The only thing I can say is that apparently Mel Brooks was all about it. He's all about this. He enjoys what Josh Gad has put together for it. And I put all my trust in Mel Brooks, even at 99 years old.
I
So
do too, and I worship the man. And I tell you what, from what I've read and seen, I have high hopes. I love the idea of Bill and Lewis Pullman together in it.
yeah,
Love
Lewis
that.
Pullman. Actually, I know this is far past, talking about Backlog Buster Brothers, but Lewis
Mhm.
Pullman was, last night we went and saw The Testament of Ann Lee at our local independent theater. And Lewis Pullman plays one of the leads. He plays William Lee, this brother of Ann Lee. Quick synopsis. Ann Lee was like one of the big major figures in the Shaker movement, which was the Shaking Quakers. They were very known for a religious community, very known for dancing, for singing, for pacifism. In the movie, The Testament of Ann Lee is the story of Ann Lee and how she became who she was and basically how her life had gone on. I thought it was a great movie. It 100% wasn't my type of movie. It was a
Mhm.
musical that followed along with the story of her life. There were
Oh, I
no
love
funny
musicals.
parts, which I understand. Like everything I watch doesn't have to be a comedy. It was a very, which is fair because it was a testament of this woman's life. She didn't have a great life. Like they're not just gonna shoehorn in a cheap laugh because yeah, you know. Um, I thought it was really well done. I had to kind of watch it through different a different lens to see, like, because I'm not part of the Shaker movement. I don't like have a
Right,
big
yeah.
connection to this, but see, like, it was a very interesting and well done movie. I can see why the director who also wrote it wanted to get it out there. I know there was kind of a little bit of pushback because it came out so late in the cycle that Amanda Seyfried, I believe is how her last name is pronounced, who
Siegfried,
plays
Seyfried,
Anne
however you
Lee,
do it. Yeah.
thought that a lot of people thought she should have got like a Best Actress nomination for that role, but it came out so late in the cycle that a lot of voters didn't get to see it. So now
There's
she's not going
always
to be up for it.
there's
Yeah,
always that it came out too late in the year, so it's not gonna get
yeah,
an Oscar attention, or it came
but
out too early in the year. That happens
yeah,
all
the
the time. Yeah.
writer and director they put it out in the film festival circuit. It had some interest. There were a few companies that wanted to put it on their 2026 slate, but the writer was like, "No, this is a movie I shot. I want it out now. I don't really care
Yeah.
about all this stuff," which I appreciate. Like someone did this work and they want people to see it.
Yeah, they
And
don't give a shit about the Academy shining
yeah,
them with awards and spending obscene amounts of money for a campaign, all that stuff.
exactly. But Lewis Pullman was great in that role, and I enjoy Lewis Pullman in just about
I
anything
first caught
he's
him in. He had a small part in Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yes,
In
that's where I first saw him too.
2018, and
I
I had
love that movie.
no idea that he was Bill Pullman's son. And I'm like, this kid is fantastic. Oh
Yep.
my god, he is so good in this. And then obviously I've picked up on him since. He keeps playing characters named Bob. I find that completely amusing. It sucks for him because now he's locked into the entire Avengers universe as Bob forever after
Yep.
doing it in Top Gun and somewhere else. It's kind of funny. Where were we going from here, though?
No, I think that we're just going to assignments at this point.
Yeah.
So I think both of us decided that Adulthood was a movie.
It was a
Hollow Knight is
remarkable,
great.
on a good day, 6 out of 10.
That's
Yeah,
about what I would
I
give it.
can't shit on it, but is it going to leave much of a lasting impression on me? Nah.
It was a movie.
Fun premise that I don't know, maybe got a little too serious too quickly. I don't know. It's I don't know. You can watch it. I can say I don't know a lot. You can watch it and make up your own mind. I'm not going to give it a glowing review saying you have to go check it out. It just kind of is. And there are probably better ways to fill out a Friday night if you're looking for a movie to watch, to be honest. Which brings us to my assignment for Mr. Wyatt this week.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So you just mentioned that the movie you just saw was something of a musical. Is that right?
Yep.
And that you're not normally necessarily a musical guy. Well, guess what I'm assigning you? It's a musical comedy. This is a feature
Orgasmo?
it is not Orgasmo.
Ah.
This is a movie from 1991. It is an Irish film made by Alan Parker, who has done a lot of different stuff if you're familiar with him in any way.
Mhm.
This is a movie that gets definitely into the heart of who Nick is. And if you want to know that I was weirdly obsessed with this movie when I was growing up, I was. And I think everyone should see it because, in my opinion, it's the best movie about music and musicians ever put on screen. And that is The Commitments. Have you ever heard or seen this movie?
Know nothing about it.
All right. So, you are 1991 in Dublin, and so you're still right in kind of getting over the Troubles, as they were called, but a lot of extreme economic depression at the time. And basically, this is a group of out-of-work young Dublinites in their 20s coming together to form a soul band. And that being obviously not the realm of white Irish people traditionally in music. And so it centers around this character named Jimmy Rabbit, who is really into music. He's like the guy that everybody goes to ask what's happening in music and all that. This is the way that he's going to escape poverty is by putting a band together, and it kind of tracks their rise and demise, if you will. A lot of predictable up and downs, but all the musical performances in this movie are real. The soundtrack is something of legend once you've seen the movie. And while it's not actually a musical in the traditional sense, obviously there are a lot of performance parts of the movie that actually weave themselves into the narrative a lot. And like I said, this is like top 10 all-time Nick stuff. So I would like a Green Wyatt to go in dark and come back next week and tell me what he thinks, because you might hate it. And I will add a footnote just to come full circle on today's episode. The likelihood you will need subtitles for this movie is probably quite high, despite the fact that it's in English.
Well, I am excited that I'll put that on the list for this weekend to check out. So I owe you a game. I'm gonna give you something that's a little more bite-sized because I'd like you to plug away at Hollow Knight a little bit more because that game's just fun.
Oh, it's great,
But
and I'm doing it no matter what.
this is a game that came out in 2018. I think I played it 2 or 3 years ago. It's one of those games that I'm sure you probably own in about 18 different places because it's been added to almost any bundle of anything that has come out since probably 2020, 2021.
Oh, so this is gonna be something you tell me is definitely existing in my Steam library or my GOG library or my Epic library or something to that effect because I picked
Or
it up
your
along the way.
itch.io library
Yeah,
if you've
yeah,
done any
yeah.
of that. Yes. So this is a 2018 Devolver Digital game, which
Oh,
Devolver
love
Digital
them.
is, yep, great publisher. The antithesis of Ubisoft.
Yep, absolutely. Devolver Digital are a good in the publishing realm.
Yes. And actually, you could probably play this natively on Linux because as I'm looking at this right now, it's one of the listed platforms. So you
Oh, my
can,
ears have picked. What are we
yeah.
talking about?
So the 2018 Devolver Digital game called Minute. I don't know if you've heard of it at all.
It's like yeah, very simple graphical style and black and white-ish. Am I saying that correctly? Am I
Yeah.
thinking of it? Yeah,
Yep.
I definitely have this in my Steam library. There's no question whatsoever.
Not a surprise. So the very quick rundown of this is your life lasts 60 seconds. You have to yes, every time 60 seconds passes, you essentially die and you end back at the beginning and you need to finish the entire game in a 60-second run, which sounds impossible, especially since it's more or less like a smaller version of the island in Link's Awakening, I would
Yeah,
liken
it's
it
got a
to.
very similar graphical. It's like a black and white Link's Awakening
Yes.
Game Boy graphical style,
Yep.
maybe with like a little Apple IIe magic thrown in there somewhere,
That's a pretty good yeah, comparison
or
to that.
Commodore 64. Yeah,
So the
you should mention it's
idea,
it's for anyone looking this up is MINIT minute,
yes,
not like in a 60 seconds minute.
it's also I think it's kind of a play on like minute a little bit too.
Oh, that would make sense in that it does happen in 60 seconds and it's a minute amount of time. And
Yeah.
well,
I like
yeah.
that. So yeah, not to give away too much of how it goes, but yeah, so the idea is you get 60 seconds for your life and you're traveling around this island trying to figure out this mystery and break this curse of, why can I only, last 60 seconds? There may be some things you can unlock during your 60-second runs to make things move faster or enable you to do different things. It's
That's, I
not a
guess, was
game.
my next question. Yeah, so is it like I play this 60-second run to get the jump boots, and then the next one, by having the jump boots, I can access this part. Is it live, die, repeat, the video game, basically?
Kind of.
Or end of tomorrow? Either
Yeah,
title that that movie had?
it kind of is. I don't want to give too much more away than what I've already said, but like it works very well. I played this game not when it first came out, but maybe a few years after that. I really
Mhm.
enjoyed it. It's maybe a 3-hour game, a little bit longer if you're trying to do absolutely every little thing that there is to do in the game.
Oh,
So it's not going to
badass.
take a lot of your time, but
Well,
I
you
think
mentioned
you'll
Linux. I
enjoy
just
it.
pulled it up. This is on Portmaster, which means that you can play this on any Linux handheld that there is.
There
That's
you go.
fantastic. So yeah, I have this. If you own it on Steam, you can just play it here. Or this might. Yeah, you do have to own a copy on Steam. Some of them are free to play, but this is not one of them. Oh, I will do that. I will load that up right after we finish talking today. I think I'm excited for
Well,
this
look
one.
at that. I think that basically brings us to the end of our episode. Unless you have anything you would like to add to the adoring public.
I need to pee again.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to thank everyone for listening. If you're enjoying our podcast, please give us, a like, leave a review on Apple Podcasts,
Comments help.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, any type of interactions you can give us in, ratings helps us become more visible, helps grow the podcast, and maybe we can have a few more We Don't Have It Yetis join the crew here. But for Nick, this is Wyatt. Thank you for joining us, and you all have a great week.
Talk to you soon. Bye.